What if I told you that 2025 might be the year when travel undergoes a permanent transformation, not simply due to new technology or quicker flights, but also because completely undiscovered places are taking center stage? Nearly 30% of tourists worldwide are now purposefully avoiding well-known tourist destinations in favor of new, undiscovered locations per current tourism data. The top 10 new travel destinations for 2025 are shown in this video. These are places that are growing quickly, maintaining their authenticity, and prepared to receive tourists seeking genuine experience. These are locations to feel as much as to see. So take out your passport, and let's see where travel is going in the future. Sierra Leone. This is Africa's return destination, and few people anticipated it. Long infamous for its turbulent past, Sierra Leone is now gaining international attention for its unspoiled beaches, rainforest reserves, and unmissable cultural diversity. This West African country is relying on sustainable tourism to drive its next chapter, from the vibrant streets of Freetown to the isolated Turtle Islands. But let's face it, there are difficulties. Basic infrastructure exists. Travelers must keep informed about local conditions, and health measures are crucial. However, have you ever been at a place when it seemed as though hope and history were merging right then and there? Sierra Leone is that. Be mindful when traveling. Make reservations with local guides, and carry more than just your belongings. Bring respect and inquiry. Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Tashkent, which was formerly merely a halt on the Silk Road, is now becoming one of the most fascinating towns in Central Asia. Tashkent feels like multiple worlds combined into one dynamic metropolis, with its modern metro stations, Islamic heritage, and Soviet architecture. By 2025, Uzbekistan will be easier to reach because of improved infrastructure and relaxed visa requirements. However, because it is still relatively unknown, there will be some growth pains, such as schedule irregularities, inadequate tourism infrastructure, and language hurdles. But it's a treasure trove for the daring. Lofoten Islands, Norway. Searching for a place that blends breathtaking beauty with untamed wilderness? Enter the Lofoten Islands, where the northern lights dance like nature's screensaver, red fishermen's huts cling to harbors, and spectacular cliffs rise out of freezing seas. Although Norway has always been a popular destination, Lofoten is quickly emerging as a 2025 crown jewel because of improved accessibility and heightened ecotourism initiatives. But take note, it's not a cheap place to go. Transportation, housing, and food costs can all be high, particularly during busy times of the year. What about the weather? Wildly erratic. Have you ever wished to view the aurora from a cottage where there is only the crackle of logs and no Wi-Fi? Lofoten is that. The environment here is beautiful and delicate, so make sure to plan early, pack wisely, and travel with consideration. Chachapoyas, Peru. Forget about Machu Picchu for a while. Peru's next big archaeological adventure is Chachapoyas. Quilap, an ancient mountaintop castle known as the Machu Picchu of the North, is located in this hidden jewel, which is tucked away deep in the northern cloud woods. The town itself has colonial facades, friendly residents, and a wonderful, peaceful atmosphere. However, getting there is difficult because the infrastructure is still being developed, the roads are tortuous, and the internet is sporadic. That's the whole point for adventurous tourists, though. Have you ever wished you were Indiana Jones, but without the snakes and old curses? This is your opportunity. Bring patience, an open mind, and trekking boots. Matera, Italy. Matera appears to come from a biblical epic, or perhaps a dream. One of the world's oldest continually inhabited cities. The settlement in southern Italy is set into limestone cliffs, and it's finally receiving the attention it merits after being designated a European capital of culture. Boutique hotels have been converted from ancient cave dwellings, and softly lit wine bars overlooking stone cathedrals set into slope-served local vintages. The problem is that, despite its beauty, Matera is difficult. Public transportation can be excruciatingly sluggish, and the steep alleys and stone steps are not for the weak of heart. However, that adds to the allure. Lombok, Indonesia. Although Bali continues to garner the most media attention, Lombok is quietly becoming as a popular destination for tourists seeking a tropical paradise free of tourists. Imagine pristine beaches, breathtaking waterfalls, secluded surfing locations, and the majestic Mount Rinjani, a volcano that looms over the landscape like a sleeping deity. Because Lombok hasn't been completely marketed, nature still takes center stage, which is what makes it unique. But there are drawbacks as well, such as inadequate infrastructure, sporadic power outages, and a decline in the number of English-speaking residents. Salta, Argentina. Nestled in the northwest corner of Argentina, Salta is a place where colonial elegance blends with Andean vistas, and the red rock canyons are unlike anything you've seen in the American Southwest. Salta is preparing for its breakthrough year in 2025, with wine country that rivals Mendoza and vibrant valleys like Quebrada de Humahuaca. You'll need some Spanish to get by, and transportation can be challenging. Nevertheless, the reward is huge. Have you ever drove across a scene so bizarre that you kept stopping to gaze? That's Salta. Go slowly. Rent a car if you can, and accept every empanada that is offered to you. Despite the rough terrain, the people are friendly. Sao Tome and Principe. The reason 2025 is so intriguing is that most people couldn't locate Sao Tome and Principe on a map. With its misty volcanic peaks, cocoa plantations, and unspoiled beaches that seem like nature's best-kept secrets, this small island nation off the west coast of Africa is a biodiverse paradise. With its eco-experiences, tiny lodges, and low impact, Sao Tome is becoming a model destination for sustainable tourism. However, as it's still in its infancy, visitors should anticipate rudimentary facilities and slower service. That's part of the appeal, though. Have you ever envisioned going on a trip without Wi-Fi and being perfectly content with it? This is a location. Tainan, Taiwan. While Taipei and Taroko Gorge receive the majority of tourists, Taiwan's oldest city, Tainan, is quietly emerging as the nation's cultural center, and 2025 is expected to be a landmark year for it. Imagine a creative resurgence driven by young artists and designers, elaborate temples on every corner, and street cuisine that redefines the term flavor bomb. It's full of stories at every turn, genuine and gritty in the best way. But Tainan is fiercely local, so don't anticipate a high-end tourist experience. Even Google Maps can become lost in the narrow lanes, and there isn't much English-language signage. Albanian Riviera. The Albanian Riviera may become your next obsession if you've ever imagined enjoying cappuccino on a beach that resembles Santorini without the tourists or the 15-euro cocktails. The hitch is that infrastructure is still coming up, even if tourism is booming. ATMs can be unreliable, roads can be uneven, and not everyone speaks English. However, that adds to the allure. It reminds me of Europe before it became overly manicured. Have you ever wished to locate a beach where you can hear the waves? Not a playlist? Welcome to Albania. Simply learn a few local words, rent a car with good tires, and be prepared to go with the flow. Peace, sunsets, and a familial culture are the rewards. Please hit the like button if this video motivated you to go on your next journey. Remember to hit the bell and subscribe so you don't miss any more travel-related inspiration. And let us know in the comments where you would fly first. Or even better, where ought we to go next? Till then, keep exploring, be inquisitive, and travel wisely.